Joe, what's happening, brother?
I'm doing good, Kenny.
Good, man. Good. Hey, so first of all, welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, I appreciate you having me back.
Yeah, good. And welcome back, everybody who's who's tuning in. I hope you enjoyed what we're gonna be putting out today. But anyway, man. So let's talk about the reasons people work out, or or the purpose of the working out, or whatever. You know what I mean? Do you ever come across people that just, they're here, but they're not here?
Yes, definitely.
You know what
I mean? I think we can all kind of relate to that at some point in our life when we do start working out and training. Just kind of working out with a purpose. You said the other day, which hit the head on the nail. Like some people come to work out and some people come to lift weights. Two totally different things. And I just thought, man, that's perfect because again, when you come to work out, or as I say, train, people always put train, because you're training and working out for a reason. And then some people are just here like, oh, I just want to move. I'm like, well, why are you moving? Right. Or why are you lifting weights? Or why are you training? Why are you working out? There always, to me, as a trainer, there always has to be a purpose behind everything you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like that not only in the gym, but I'm like that in life too. Yeah. You know what I mean? I do things for a reason, Now, not everybody understands that. Not everybody knows that reason, but I know, and that's what's important to me. But yeah, I see that all the time. I get people that come in and they're lifting weights. In fact, I just saw it the other day, but they're just lifting weights, and you can see that they're lifting and they're moving the weight around, but it's just to get through the repetitions.
Yes.
And you can see that they're just trying to get through the repetitions. They're just trying to get the set over with or whatever, but they're not focused on the muscle and what the muscle is actually doing. When I train people and when I train people, I tell them to focus on the muscle. The weight moving up and down is just a byproduct of you flexing that bicep, or you flexing your chest muscles, or whatever we're doing, And the weight moving up and down is just a byproduct of that. But the purpose is to build a certain muscle, or to work a certain muscle in a certain kind of way, And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that, So. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I can relate a lot to that because I play in a spring-summer football league, and so I train specifically for that.
Exactly.
Since my background is pretty much strength and conditioning, and I'm a big believer in lifting heavy weights and being strong.
Right.
But when I'm in season, I don't lift heavy all the time. I have a specific purpose, like I need to be fast, agile, quick, and just to pretty much I just need to maintain my strength. I'm not training for a powerlifting competition where I have to lift a massive amount of weight.
Right.
And some people are like, oh, well, like, what are you training for? I'm just like, oh, I'm just staying in shape for football. And that's something I like to do. So I train specifically for that, and there's a purpose and a meaning behind it. Yes, sometimes I will touch the heavy weight just to kind of keep my body in check, but I'm not pounding the weights like I used to during the off season. Yeah. And a lot of people will say like, hey, so like you like squat heavy, or like do you bench press heavy, or do you just deadlift a lot amount of weight? I'm just like, well, since I'm in season, I actually lighten up the load because my body's already taking the toll playing in the games and practicing and everything, where like I always say, like if the strongest person in the world was the best football player, then or if there's or for example, if the fastest person, like Usain Bolt, fastest person in the world, he's not a very good football player, and they've actually tested it. He's not a very good. So you train for what you're doing, and that's where like training with a purpose comes into mind, where and comes into play, to where like, hey, I have to work on these specific things, and these are the things that I need to be ready for when it comes time for the game, game time.
Exactly. And that rolls over though. That rolls over into people not understanding what other people's goals and purpose is, but they'll see something on the internet or something, and it's like,
I know where you're going with this. Yeah, that's why I'm chuckling.
They'll see somebody doing something, they think, oh, I can do that and I can get the same results. But they don't realize, well, this person's working out for this versus that. I think I told you the other day, it happened to me. This is a good example. It happened to me. But I was eating oranges at night, you know. Yeah. And they came in and said, Kenny, I thought you said no oranges after whatever. I was like, well, you don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Your purpose is completely different from mine. Mine is completely different from yours. Yes. I'm eating for the purposes that I want. Yes. You know? I know exactly what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I told you not to eat oranges after a certain time because of the results that you want to get, you know? So, or fruit or whatever. But yeah, so people don't recognize, I think a lot of people don't recognize that there's different categories, you know, we're in different categories. We're working, I mean, you know, people who are seasoned, they know what they're doing. They work out for the purpose of, you know, with a purpose.
Yes.
With a purpose. They know what they're doing. They know what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish. And it's not the same as for what everybody else is trying to do all the time.
Yeah, so. No, and that's a great example because, for example, like when I have, like when I'm prepping for myself for football season or the kids are getting ready for their sports, like the training changes throughout the year. Exactly. It's not always the same. Yeah. And just from what you've done with your clients, like bodybuilding, like, you know, their caloric intake is going to drop as you get closer and closer to their show. Right. And people are like, oh, well, and then like Caleb is a good example. Like, hey Caleb, like what are you eating? You know, what are you doing? You're like, you look really good. Oh, well, I'm only eating this. I'm only drinking this. Right. X amount of calories. Like, that's kind of low. Like that's not healthy. It's like, well, he's training with a purpose, to get ready for his bodybuilding show. Yeah. And same thing with sports. You know, I'm like, people are like, oh yeah, I just need to pound the weights or run a lot. I'm like, no, like as you get into the season, you should already be ready and in shape. Exactly. And you're just trying to maintain that as best as possible because again, like, and I'm pretty sure you can agree with me, like too much of anything is unhealthy. Right. So if you're lifting heavy constantly, it's not good on the joints, it's not good on the body. Exactly. If you're sprinting every day, you're gonna be fatigued. So it really is like you have to train with the purpose. Exactly. And some people will come see me when I'm here working out. Like sometimes I'll push the weights a little bit, but a lot of the times like I'm not pushing heavy weight, and I have no shame in lifting light. And people are like, oh well, like I can lift more than that. I'm like, oh yeah, I know you could lift more than that, but for the purpose and why I'm doing this, like I'm getting ready for game day, and my body doesn't need that right now.
It's crazy, but yeah. So hey, so remember that you know you work out for work out with a purpose. Work out with a purpose. Work out for a purpose, and know what you're trying to do. Just recognize that everybody doesn't have to work out exactly the same. Yes. Right? Just recognize everybody doesn't have to work out the same, and everybody doesn't have to eat the same. You know, you do it for the purpose or for the sake of what you're trying to accomplish. Yes. All right. So anyway, y'all, we'll holler at you later. If you have any feedback, you want to holler at us, do so. But we'll talk to you soon. All right. Peace.